It's this button.
Yeah, you remember how to press the on button?
If I put these on, I'll just check that.
It's been a while, after all.
It has been too long.
Maybe 2 weeks?
I don't think your sense of time is as good as
Maybe-
your sense of colour theory.
Maybe 3 weeks. I'm sure that the listeners haven't even noticed, to be fair.
Listener, they haven't complained.
I
The,
noticed.
the one listener has yet to complain. No, we have been getting a few snide comments.
Have you?
Well,
we had
I have.
fans.
Yeah. there's-
I was one of the comments.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, right. Well,
Um,
if you count me commenting, Toby commenting, you commenting, that's 3 comments.
That's all 3 comments.
The algorithm's going to love that. Yeah. Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
After a small interlude.
It was quite short.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, exactly.
If you consider the history of the universe,
I mean,
this is a blip, really.
it's nothing. Very, very little time has passed. It's not like, Transformers Episode 1.
Exactly. And honestly, in the Fab world, nothing's really happened either. Like nothing.
No, we got Pen, which didn't do much.
No new sets, no big tournaments.
Yep.
No new armory decks announced for the best hero. Nothing really.
Wait.
Unless you can think of any.
No, we've done episodes since Army Deck Rhino.
Yeah, we have done that. That's true. Although we can't say Rhino's a bad deck anymore.
Welcome to Energy Potion, a flesh and blood podcast where we chat about trying, failing, and sometimes succeeding to play flesh and blood as competitively as we can. This episode was recorded in front of a live audience at an exclusive secret location. Before you smash the like, follow, or subscribe buttons, just take a moment. Do you really want your friends and connections to hear the latest hot takes and root techs before you get to play them yourself?
We can segue straight into Yokohama.
Into Yokohama.
Because I get to now be the proud player of good decks instead of bad decks.
Yeah, losing to Tekla is not fun.
Losing to Tekla is not fun, and that, again, we get to segue again because I get to lead with the top 8 of Pro Tour Yokohama.
Go on.
Having a Victor Goldmain,
Yep.
which we all kind of expected. Victor was doing quite well, and a Teklo.
Yeah.
At joint 5th.
Yes.
That's a top 8, by the way.
Yeah.
ladies and
Yeah.
gents.
Tekla in top 8.
Tekla is an esteemed magnet, not like a different Teklo.
No, Tekla Vossen, best mech in format.
Playing boost cards as well. Like it's literally taking what Dio does and just doing it better, apparently. Right next to an actual good deck, Acilio, piloted by Michael Hamilton.
Good for the next couple of weeks until they nerf him.
Until they literally break his kneecaps, take all of his spare change.
I've literally put my fully built Acilio deck that I've never played in paper at the back of the cupboard.
Yeah, he's losing a little bit soon, but it's fine because he's going to get given new cards.
Yes, Amp 1.
I'm not going to lie to you, John. I'm scared. Like, I am genuinely really scared that they're going to take that much away from Acilio, and I have a fear that he's still going to be one of the best decks.
Okay, we'll see.
They're going to juice him. Speaking of juiced, there's then 2 marionettes
Yeah.
who
Dang.
they haven't said anything about, by the way.
No, Assassin's not broken by any stretch.
Assassins isn't losing T-Tops,
Never.
isn't losing Codex,
Nope.
isn't losing.
No.
Hell, you could take to the point at this point. It's really annoying me. Yeah, so a marionette in 5th, joint 5th, and then in this top 4 we have a marionette, and then we have Eugene on Rhino.
Not Rhino, Eugene.
We have Eugene on Rhino Reckless Rampage.
We know who the real hero in that deck is.
Yep. Obviously, Mandible Claw going was fine because everyone had been playing the Meat X build for the longest time. We knew that Rhino was going to have a home. Not Eugene, though. Eugene decided to bring Savage Claw, Ball Breaker, and essentially play his old Mandible Claw build, whether they liked it or not. Just willed into existence, and had some very entertaining stream games, including a very close semi-finals with Yukili Bender on Acilio, who eventually got to the finals against another Acilio, Evan Herndon, which I don't know if you watched that finals, John. A lot of people said it was very exciting. I kind of zoned out after the first turn. But there was a good wobble, though. There was a wobble that won the game.
There was a wobble that won the game.
Yeah, so everyone complaining about wobble when it got printed was vindicated.
Yeah.
Wobble did win the Pro Tour.
Well, that's not a problem card. Not in the mirror.
Well,
just tech.
yeah. It's just good guy with a wobble versus bad guy with a wobble, I suppose.
Wobble. I wobble your wobble.
Exactly. So Acilio is now a Pro Tour winner.
Yep.
which probably is contributing to why he's losing some cards. Obviously, having the other way around, but I think
Yep.
on the dev team they were well aware that Mind Warp for 14 probably wasn't healthy for the format.
Never had my chance with it.
Yeah, good. Good. I got mind warped for numbers more than 10, more than enough, John. I didn't need it coming from inside the building as well. So yeah, a good Pro Tour. Obviously, as ever, really good coverage. Really enjoyed it. I ended up watching a lot of them back at work the next week. You know, just have something on the other monitor, which was really, really nice. And again, very diverse metagame. Like obviously, we have a top 8 where there's 3 Asilios, 2 Marionettes, but there is Tekla in there.
Yeah, there's a Rhino. There is a
there.
Rhino in there, which counts as diverse.
Which counts as diverse.
And the meta's been pretty diverse for a while.
And that's the thing, like, I haven't got the final standings outside of the bubble here, but I'm pretty sure if I look in, like, the top, like, 15, 18, we're going to see some pretty gnarly decks.
And this is the Pro Tour, because there was a calling as well.
And there was a calling as well, which I do also have the top 8 for. But yeah, even at 9, we've got Syndra, we've got a Gravy at 10, another Victor at 11, another Gravy at 12, a Dio, Sam Sutherland, very good Dio player, at 13, Kasai sneaking at 15, Prism at 19. Like there's a bunch of decks up here. There's actually another Kasai. Interesting.
I think, yeah. We can talk about Warrior in a second.
We can, yeah. It's not Warrior moment time yet. We'll get to Warrior. Then for the calling, we have a Victor, a Marionette, a Gravy Bones. He's still there. A Kasai, another Victor, a Volder.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is CC, by the way.
Yeah.
This is Volder. This is adult Volder.
Okay.
Third.
Okay.
Ooh.
By the way. Second place, Rhino Reckless Rampage.
Yeah.
One of the few heroes to be present in both top 8s,
Yep.
by the way. And then was won by Nova-chan on Marionette. An actual good deck, unfortunately. But, again, a very I mean, if we take the top 8s of both of these and sort of smush them together, we're seeing quite a few decks. And quite a few different archetypes as well. Like, we didn't see Gravy in the top 8 of the Pro Tour, but we do see Gravy here, so board-based decks still exist.
Yes.
And we are obviously doing another one really soon.
Yes.
Ziggy as well.
Yep.
Did I mention Volder, by the way? Volder was in
that's
there.
really interesting.
Yeah, Volder was
also
there.
slightly scary as a Syndra player.
I think
Syndra.
Volder's like pretty. I mean, I think she's like on that level with Kasai, where she probably has the chops to go like to win a calling.
Yeah.
You just need the right things to line up. But there's a few matchups that you really don't want to see. There's a few, like, I'm pretty sure Volder's match up into a deck like Vincent, for example, which was Flavor of the Week a few weeks ago. Hasn't really popped up as much now. But, like, Volder completely crunches a deck like Vincent. And probably feels pretty good into some of these. I mean, probably felt quite good into Rhino, but I think the Rhino beat the Victor in the semi-finals. Probably not bad into Cilio either, with the amount of cards that he draws too. Like,
no, I imagine she's pretty good.
So yeah, I think she's got a great spot. The issue is that most of her cards are locked behind History Pack, Mastery Pack Guardian, including that shield, which is quite pricey. You've seen the price of that shield. That's because unfortunately no one really opened Mastery Pack Guardian. But yeah, fantastic top 8. Again, Orion did very well. This was me ex-Rhino, by the way, which is really, really fun. Although, mentioning Mastery Packs, John.
Mentioning Mastery, is that... no, yeah, okay, go on.
Yeah, I can segue all day.
We can move into Mastery Pack territory.
I can segue all day.
Mastery Pack brings us to other things.
Exactly, because we have had a new Mastery Pack announced.
Yes.
One to rival Mastery Pack Guardian in the annals of time.
Is it possible?
Another fan favourite class, a class that, well, despite having 2 Kasais in the top 8, is a little bit underloved in Warrior.
It's a little bit underloved, but not bad by any stretch of imagination.
Well, no, I mean, we got an announcement of Mastery Pack Warrior with some exciting cards shown, an exciting reprint shown in Valiant Dynamos, a card that probably does have an impact on why Warrior play levels are so low, because if you want to play Kasai, you do need Dynamos.
You need Dynamos. As a Warrior player.
As a Warrior player, for the most part, you need Dynamos, because even this new Hala deck, which we just got released as well, which we've seen some
playing Dynamos.
For us, she probably ends up playing Dynamos. She could play...
Hala's quite scary as well.
Something like Bolters, maybe. But yeah, I think Hala's got the potential to be really, really scary. Again, she is so underexplored. She has just arrived.
Yeah.
She has just arrived. We've got the cards out of the box. We've had people obviously building these decks and essentially trying them in the fires of battle, but we don't get a refined list for a little while yet.
I'm fairly sure I ran into, because I played 2 at Lost Armory. And
it was Halliday after all.
It was Halliday, and one of them was vanilla, and the other one was not vanilla, by any stretch of the imagination. But the vanilla one, I'm fairly sure Sam pulled off a very casual 4-card 19.
Which
and I'm
is
like,
fine.
What? What?
I mean, when you factor in that, like,
and I'm playing Syndra, like 4-card 19s is
those are numbers you're going for. I think Hannah has the potential to be a warrior that, again, can block well, can attack well, can convert these 4-card hands. Again, she will sort of encroach on the territories of Dori and Kasai a little bit, but she will carve her own niche. And
just a really good numbers deck. Really
exactly.
Good,
and we're very much
numbers.
all under the impression that she's like the teaser.
Yes.
This Armory deck Origins is the teaser for what is eventually going to be the actual Hala deck.
She will be really good after Mastery Pack.
When the Mastery Pack.
Because weirdly, a warrior will probably benefit from a Mastery Pack.
Yeah, you can't help but wonder how much of the new cards we saw in the Armory deck might get reprinted in that Mastery Pack. We thought that would be the case for a lot of the other cards, like Guardian cards, for example, and that didn't end up actually happening.
Yeah.
We didn't actually get that many reprints at all. So maybe it will be just a set of all new warrior cards.
Yeah, because with Mastery Pack Guardian, they introduced Adult Valda.
They did.
Whereas they've now released, and they didn't do an Armory deck Valda, they just introduced her in Mastery Pack Guardian. Whereas now they've introduced Armory deck Origins Hala. Will there be a new hero in Mastery Pack Warrior? Probably not. But that.
Well, we know the hero's in the Mastery Pack.
Okay.
This time it's 3 young heroes opposed to the one.
Yeah, young heroes. But
we know we're getting young Dori Quicksilver, Prodigy, and she's getting a printing at basic, so she's going to be legal in Silver Age. We also know we're getting young Hala, which means she will also be legal in Silver Age, which is kind of the big thing. Also, young Olympia, obviously, everyone's favourite warrior.
Oh, so maybe they're pushing the Silver Age angle with this.
Definitely to a degree. There's going to be a lot of cards in there that you think these aren't quite strong enough for CC, but they're definitely strong enough for Silver Age, especially for a class like Warrior, which unfortunately kind of only had a niche in Decimator, and obviously they've kind of tried to push Decimator away a little bit by banning Stillblade Shunt. When we could see adult Dori Quicksilver Prodigy.
Yeah,
that could be the adult in there.
Yeah, that's true.
I do kind of wonder what angle she would attack with the original Dori and Hala in the format. I mean, all that being said, I mean, there's definitely stuff she can do that neither of those decks can do. So, and she's definitely a Dynamo's deck, by the way. So, but the potential for that is there. But obviously, the real hero that everyone is gonna be getting cards for, the real hero that's gonna take the metagame by storm.
Yes. Also getting an Armory deck.
Who?
Also, no, go on.
Who is?
Are they not getting an Armory deck?
Who?
Olympia.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. That's right. Yeah, Olympia's getting an Armory deck.
Yeah, Olympia's getting an Armory deck.
Olympia's getting an Armory deck. Olympia's getting a weapon. Olympia's getting everything I've ever wished for, and still will probably barely scratch the surface of D tier, and I don't care. I will
new
be.
Favorite boy.
He's my boy. He's my golden boy. He has his golden grail. Literally, that's the name of the sword. I think I've carved a little bit of a reputation for myself as someone who plays what some might call bad decks. Recently went 3-0 with Teklo locally, went 4-0 with Katsu the other night, by the way. But unfortunately, my bad decks are rapidly becoming good decks.
Yeah.
Like Rhino's doing well, Teklo's doing well.
And now Olympia will do well.
And Olympia... I mean, if I take the tinfoil hat off for a minute and I'm taking the rose-tinted lenses off for a little bit, I still can't really see what he's doing better than anything else. Like the real fun part of the new sword, obviously it costs 2 if you've wagered, it gains +1, and you can crack a gold to pay for it instead of paying the 2. Opens up all these avenues where, like, if you've got the extra gold from wagering, you can use that, and you can obviously use his nice Marvel equipment pieces that count as gold to pay for the sword attack. And obviously the joke is you can rip off your trousers and use that to pay for the sword. And in theory, that's cool. But how really strong is it? Like when you compare it, like again, if we just rewind a little bit to, I don't know, Mind Warp for 14, like
Yes.
Mind Warp for 14 on the end of like 3 attacks for 4 was go again, maybe with an on-hit draw a card as well. And then you compare it to, oh yeah, I could do this 2 card 7, by the way, that involves losing a piece of equipment, and you go, are they quite the same level? Maybe. But we got to see obviously the sword itself, which is exciting, and obviously by virtue of costing 2 and all the wager cards costing 1 lines up nicely with that. And yeah, the new D-React as well, the one that says, I think it's like 3 costs, the red blocks for 6, the yellow for 5, the blue for 4, but instead of paying the cost you can crack a gold, which means you can do some really fun stuff by blocking with your equipment. Because it has tempo, the combat chain continues on the next chain link, you can crack it on the previous chain link to play the D-React for free, which is really nice synergy. And obviously Olympia can re-equip from his bin, from his armory. Sideboard, I guess, if you're saying it properly. Well, I think armory is the official term. For the sideboard. Same way that like library is in free deck.
Don't know.
Get some
Fix that in post.
We need a judge.
Yeah, we would imagine. So yeah, it's all very exciting in the world of Warriors. All 10 of us are mega excited. Charlie is inconsolable. He played Dory the other night with the new cards.
Yep.
Dory with Flurry tokens, very scary.
Dory with Toadline and Edict card that I've already learned to hate.
Yep, the Red Edict is at common, possibly one of the strongest cards they've printed in quite a while. I'll be very curious to see the impact that has on CC, but also on Silver Age.
Yep.
Like I said, it seems they're desperate to push Warrior more towards the original vision, opposed to I'm a better numbers deck than you, which is also a key part of Warrior's sort of like class identity, but they want a bit more, go tall swords versus decimated for 4.
Or Quicksilver for 4, then 5, then 10. Then
well, Quicksilver
20.
will be So I think again, a lot of the Warriors, they do, and again I was talking to Callum about this the other day. They do sort of fall into the same pattern of I'm going to swing a weapon twice.
Yeah.
It might be a different weapon. Might be saber into saber.
Yes.
It might be
But
Dawnblade
I'm going to
into
swing a weapon
Dawnblade.
twice, and there might be some shenanigans around the weapon. But this weapon, you're going to be hit twice by a weapon. The question is, does blocking the first one prevent me from doing anything on the second one?
Yeah, and the thing is, they all swing weapon twice, or they all want to swing weapon twice, or maybe even 3 times. But they all do it differently, and they all do it for different reasons, and they all have different theories about how to block and when to block and that kind of stuff. And you could sort of make that same generalist breakdown for every class, like Ninja go wide, Guardian go tall.
Yeah,
Illusionist play board.
There's other than Mechanologist, the classes all need something.
Most because Mechanologist is still really a talent.
Yeah.
As much as they like to say it isn't, there's a reason Mechanologist has like 4 different card art borders.
Yeah.
It's because it's essentially a talent. Even though they are desperately trying to console it all back together and say, no, you are all boost decks, I promise you. You all must boost.
Yes.
Unless you're a pirate. Then please play Conqueror of the High Seas.
Yeah.
We'll even give you a new card. We'll even give you a new wager card that lets you, as a pirate, do better wagering than Olympia and Betsy, the wager classes.
Yeah.
But that's fine. It's fine because it's the year of Olympia, so I'm not going to complain about Olympia. And I'll just ignore Betsy because soon her time will come, I'm sure.
Well, armory deck, Betsy.
I do think it is quite incredible that for the longest time,
max treatment.
For the longest time, everyone has kind of seen. I almost thought LSS as well had seen Olympia and Betsy as these sort of like these twinned paired heroes, like almost a couple, and that they had the heroes that LSS kind of had left behind.
Yeah.
Right, and so it is quite funny to be like them to shower all this praise onto Olympia and then just be like. And then Betsy's still there. Like there is no acknowledgement of Betsy, but maybe there will be. But we've got another armory deck due later in the year.
Yep.
It does line up with set 20, so one would assume it to be an armory deck for a hero in that set. but it would be really funny if it was Betsy. It would be really funny if set 20 is like the culmination of the Monarch like story arc, and then it's like Prism 3, Chain 2, and then just Armory deck Betsy with a log.
With the log.
Even better.
Finally, the log.
Rope her into the story. Somehow, Betsy is on the front lines fighting for Solana in the war against darkness with her log. With her log.
She's the only one who can get it done.
Apparently so. Apparently they really needed wager on a weapon. The front line.
We come back to the meta's really wide open. You could still play anything.
Our locals are
Tough
a mess
nut.
at the best of times.
Yeah.
At the best of times,
Tough
they are a
nut,
mess.
we've missed talking about.
You can play anything locally, but you can also play anything, at a call-in, at a high-level event. Like, I have been playing a bit of Tough Nut. He is feeling very strong.
Yep.
He is a fantastic numbers deck. He did get a lot of help with Pen. Could have got a bit more. But he's a deck that will do well in a format that slows down a little bit. Like, with Guardians coming to Prevalence, Tough Nut's been doing really, really well. If Vasilio gets taken down a peg, if Mario gets sort of pushed away a little bit, I can see Tough Nut filling in quite a nice little gap. Same for RKO, same for Pleiades. Hell, I'm still waiting for someone to really crack Lyeth.
Yeah.
Because Jason Rolfe did, and then everyone was like, well, I'm not Jason Rolfe.
No, that's a skill issue that we all suffer from.
Yeah.
And my problem is that the Lyeth build I like is nothing like his.
No, I guess that is... maybe that's part of the reason I really do like Super Slam, is that for the longest time they were sort of like pushing a hero with a weapon and saying this is how you play this deck, and for Super Slam they did take a step back a little bit, and a lot of people were like, well, that means the heroes aren't very strong because
But they've got huge range.
But that's the thing, you can build them in many different ways. They've got so much utility. Like, you can build RKO, this full Mockingblow build that became really, really popular. People have started just playing Brute in RKO to fit with the Savage Claw, right? They've been playing loads more of these 6s. They've been playing loads more of these just power cards, 2-card turns, and still throwing a little bit of the old Knocking Blows in. But maximising sort of like the weapon on the Savage Claw. Now, do I still think that Ball Breaker should have been his weapon? I do. But Savage Claw is apparently very strong because it did finish, top 4 at the Pro Tour, by the way.
Yeah.
Along with Ball Breaker. So yeah, I think the meta is all over the place. I think we said this last time, and it hasn't really changed much.
No, it's just still moving around.
Exactly. We still have our kind of pillars that are very, very strong. We still know that Acilio is, if not the best deck in format, then tied with Mario.
I feel, as a player in CC, and let's talk about Sage in a second, but in CC, even if there weren't another set coming, there's so much range to experiment still with what's there that they could delay the next set another 3 months, and I'd still be like, yeah, there's loads of.
Well, I don't think it would sell. Yeah, I think. Well, again, we do have the added benefit that sort of heroes have left at very opportune times via Living Legend, right? Like Verdant's leaving when she did, Florian leaving when they did shake up mid-season as well. So really, we haven't had that long with the exact set of heroes we have.
Yeah, true.
And this is all in preparation for like a Pro Tour and stuff as well, right? So there's been a lot of testing behind the scenes, a lot of decks that would have made their debut at the Pro Tour that were sort of being kept under wraps, so as to not, ruin the surprise. But yeah, we are going to get 3 new heroes.
We are
going to be lightning.
Heroes. There are 3 lightning heroes, and they all look amazing.
And they're all, 2 of them are pushing archetypes that we haven't really seen before in a lightning wizard. Crazy.
Yeah, but doing different things.
A lightning wizard that isn't playing as they've posited it might end up that the best way to play Acilio 2 is just Acilio 1. But this sort of counterburn, mid-rangey control deck version of Acilio, and then a lightning illusionist,
which is the 2 best keywords in Fab, right?
It's really pushing
lightning and illusionist.
I think the next best, if heaven forbid if they put in a lightning runeblade, John, we'd be in trouble. And then there's Aurora.
Still LL so quickly we don't even notice. That's the thing.
The hope is...
come and go too quick.
Yeah, exactly. That's lightning hero, zip, done. Right, great. That was fun. Well, next.
They have given her a few more hoops to jump through. They've taken away a lot of her elemental cards by virtue of her now being a lightning blade, not elemental. So she loses access to like Entwine Lightning, for example, and Flicker Wisp, which kind of is the big one. Now, obviously, they're all going to get new toys. We are getting a new set. We're miles away from spoiler season.
Yes, sadly.
So we're not going to get any of those anytime soon. I'll be curious to see if she does actually slow down at all, or if she's just going to come out of the gates essentially the same as she was.
Just 5-0 for force every turn,
and
that's it. Goodbye.
She has to pitch for her ability now. I mean, she had to pitch for ability anyway, but she has to pitch like a lot more. She does have a weapon that doesn't cost anything, so maybe she'll play a lot more yellows, right, to sort of bridge that gap. Again, it'll be interesting to see, because even for the archetype we do know in Aurora, they're leaving a lot of unanswered questions that when we get the set, we'll see a bit more of. Because, we're all talking about Acilio losing a lot of his power cards when they ban Channel and all these kind of cards and stuff. Aurora is losing them too.
Yeah.
And they were, like, very key in the original Aurora's kit. So we will see just what impact those bans have, if they are going to get replaced, if they are going to get, like, essentially powered-down versions, or if they're going to try and push her in a whole new direction, which will be quite tricky, because it's really hard to move away from Cheerios. Like, 0 for 4 going in is just really, really good. Like, Briar really liked it, Vi really liked it, Aurora really liked it, and Aurora's going to like it again.
Syndra likes it.
Syndra likes it. God, yeah, maybe... Why am I pitching to play cards, John?
I don't know. I mean, I know Josh was disgusted with me when I ripped 2 cards off the top with Syndra and sent 0 for 8, essentially across 2 cards, and then was
0 for 8. That's a bonds, John. That's a bonds of ancestry.
And then he proceeded to dig through my deck to see what the next 2 cards were, and the next 2 cards, the next 2 cards, the next 2 cards, and you got 8, 8, 8, 8, 9.
Yeah. If anything, you got lucky. Yeah.
So he was disbelieving the potential of 2 cards off the top in Syndra.
Raw numbers are good.
Raw numbers
are good.
You know, one of the key win cons is taking opponents to 0 life.
I said maybe the key win con.
I don't know. Cards out of deck is also good.
Only because you then do get to put them to 0.
Yeah,
like that's how fatigue works.
I think free hit is my favourite part of Ira. It's just not pitching anything and being like, oh, but fuck you.
Yeah. Not pitching is essentially, if you ignore pitching and pitch stacking, which are 2 key mechanics in the game that is meant to be hugely
well, it used to be.
trouble, you break the game.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We do have the checks in CC at the moment, right? We do have decks like Jarl that, in theory, should punish these greedier.
But nobody's.
decks.
I think my problem is I think Frostbite Jarl has not got the range unless you surprise people.
I think it's very hard to get a consistent Frostbite with Jarl. Like, I think the best builds of Jarl right now are these mid-range, just like
or
almost
block
aggro
block
piles.
stop or mid-range, but Pleiades does block stop better.
Yeah, fatigue Jarl isn't nearly as good as it used to be when you've got Pleiades and you've got Huntsman in the format as well. And a lot of these decks have now adjusted for decks like Huntsman, and if your deck has the plan to beat Huntsman, then it's going to beat every other fatigue deck as well, because Huntsman's kind of the best to do it. Or at least I guess you could argue Pleiades does it on a different angle, so you have to prepare for both. But it's part of the reason I think you see a deck like Rhino do really well, is that you have a lot of these players who did bring these fatigue decks to combat these hyper aggro Acilios and Marios, and then you get Rhino to come in and go, cool, what if you didn't get to block with 3 of those cards? Like, what
if you can't block?
Relatively like normal, if not under rate damage, but you only got to block with 1 card.
Yeah.
You know what? Give me your hand.
Yeah, just put it face down.
just put your hand face down next to you for the rest of this turn.
Yep.
And then we'll see what happens.
Convert a hand that is 2D reacts and a Fiddler's Green and another red. Yeah. Offensively, if you could.
Which weirdly is what I had to do with Syndra as well, with my 3D react.
I think we need to look at that build a little bit, John.
I won the game. Into an unfavoured hero. I'll stand by that.
It's still Syndra, yeah. I mean,
it's just that easy, I guess.
it's well, when your opponent loses, I think 5 clashes in a row.
Being victor is Syndra. I think that is your win con.
Yeah, that was the win con, and they were not happy about it. Bless them. But that's deck building.
And that's the game.
It is the game. But no, so that's what's happened, and we have talked a little about what's going to happen.
Yep.
In the immediate future, we do have skirmish. Like I would say, we're in the off season. We're in a nice chill.
Segue into the state of Sage.
But we actually have skirmish, and it is.
We're actually at skirmish. It is Sage. The problem is, I've got thoughts on Sage. Mm-hmm. Sage is a brilliant format.
I'm having fun with Sage.
Almost too good.
Okay.
Because it's a completely different meta and card game in its own right, really. And so you're not playing Flesh and Blood, you're playing Stage and CC, and they are Stage is a brilliant format.
Oh yeah,
I love it. Yeah,
but this is what you want. You want a game, two games that follow the same rules and intuition, but fundamentally are different meta games and play very differently. Now,
I haven't got time for a second
card
game. Is my problem.
Second card game in my one card game.
It's a second card game. It's a complete. It's good enough to be a complete second card game. Like I could just main Sage.
Yeah.
And it would be fantastic fun, much cheaper, and quite well supported. And I'd be like, yeah, this is pinnacle gaming right there.
Yeah. It is gaming. And again, a lot of people were complaining that the metagame for Silver Age was maybe a bit too linear, a bit too solvable, a bit too solved.
I haven't seen it.
And then, everyone was like, oh, well, KO's best deck. Why not just play KO? KO got targeted.
Yeah.
As with all best decks, KO got targeted.
There's enough room in the heroes and the card pool that you can target a so-called best deck and format and go, well, now I will beat you and lose to something else and
rip it to shreds.
There we go.
Yeah, and we're getting a shake-up soon as well.
And there'll be a shake-up. Yeah,
we're getting the benches, the voting. I say soon. Soon in the grand scheme of things. In the
holidays.
So we'll be losing community voted 3. So we'll be losing Briar, KO, and Kano.
Yep. I absolutely want them to come back with promo cards at Young as well. So anyone who gets voted away gets a promo card on their return as a proper holiday.
That'd be so cool.
And so you're not just voting to get rid of a deck. You also if you like the hero, you might vote for them so you get the promo card.
Yeah, nice promo. Yeah.
And I'm like, that'd be a great twist. Come on, LSS.
I mean, to be fair,
that's free.
A fantastic angle for something like Silver Age is they can really push the promo angle.
Yeah.
And the nice collectible side of things, because obviously it is a budget format.
Yeah.
Which means I have to cold foil out my entire equipment suite.
Yep.
And maybe foil out the whole deck.
As is your right.
As is my right, and possibly my duty, my obligation.
Because Sage is good, but it's lost a bit of popularity locally because the same reasons it's always had is it's not a night out necessarily.
Well, it's hard. It's hard to justify it maybe, but again, it's kind of like almost a suffering from success for Fab as a whole, because it's just Silver Age is a fantastic format, and it still probably does pale in comparison to CC.
Yeah.
People want to play CC because it is the premier format, or what some are saying is the premier card game.
I say it. I say it every chance I get.
I try to say it too much because it sounds like I'm pushing my opinion onto other people, but I do believe it.
Compare it to any other card game.
And I'll play a few.
Which card game is better? Which card game is even in contention?
Well, we could do a whole podcast about that, a whole different episode about that if you want, John. But currently, the competitors you would argue would be something like the Pokemon TCG, Magic's Pro Tour Circuit, and then you could argue one of the new up-and-comings,
Magic's,
like Riftbound.
Both those games have inherent issues that Flesh and Blood solves. One Piece has its own set of issues that Flesh and Blood has steered away from.
Yeah. I do.
Like,
I do fundamentally think that Fab is doing most of the things right and stuff. I'm sorry if you can hear the coffee machine going off the back. That's our coffee machine. We'll cut that.
It won't come through. So Flesh and Blood is still a brilliant card game.
Yeah.
Like, from all perspectives, except maybe Pokemon's more collectible.
Well, Pokemon gets more players. If you look at EUIC, you look at regionals.
Yes,
you will see that Pokemon TCG is getting thousands of players.
Pokemon's the biggest card game.
And you look at callings in the States, and they'll sometimes barely break 200.
And Magic's the biggest competitive card game, if you like.
Yeah, because Magic has the history.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a bit gimmicky though at this point.
Well, Magic is obviously internally fighting with Hasbro to produce good Magic
anymore.
IP or produce more Teenage Mutant Ninja
rolled
Turtles.
over, shown belly, and gone. It's Voltron and Harry Potter time, people.
But even as looking at it from a competitive lens, like Standard being their premier competitive format has been struggling a lot in the last year or so. It flips from being a fantastic format to a new set coming out and essentially juicing a particular deck to the point where the most recent Standard Challenge had 8 of the same deck in the top 8.
Yep.
Well, technically 4 of one kind of deck, 4 of the other, but they're all playing blue-red, so really they're playing X amount of copies of the same card, right? And that's an issue that we haven't really had in Fab since Stavo days.
Yeah.
Because fundamentally they saw that happen and went, we should try not have that again.
Yes.
Like even seeing something like that top 8, for example, where we have like 3 Asilios, is more of an abnormality than what we're used to in Fab.
Yeah,
like, seeing 3 heroes is kind of crazy.
Recently, yeah.
Yeah, recently, but that's what I mean. Like recently, is in the last year recently.
Last year recently, yeah, and even then, yeah, you're seeing maybe 2.
Because I distinctly remember there being top 8. I don't think it was Leal. That was Prisms, Enigmas, and then a third hero. It's like a 3-2-2 or a 2-3-3 of those 3 heroes, and I was like, yeah, those are the 3 best heroes. That kind of makes sense. And that was a little bit like, oh, well, okay, it's a bit too solidified, a little bit too centralised. But since then, since MST's, some might say untimely, others might say wished upon demise, and frankly, since most of Rosetta has gone out as well, like we have seen this, again, almost explosion of deck potential. And honestly, maybe intentional, maybe not. The release of a set like Compendium at that time, a set which is essentially inherently buffing every single deck possible in one way or another, is almost intentional. It almost feels intentional. Right? It feels perfect timing.
It does. It also feels a bit like a drawing of a line in the sand between eras of Fab. And Jimmy's comment, that's it for reprints for a while.
Yeah,
I feel heavily implies that either he's memeing us again, like he did about the Illusionist, or he's keen to push the game in a new direction for the next few sets.
I mean, yeah, we said we had Fab 1.0, we had Fab 2.0. There were some arguments that we might be in Fab 3.0, right? There's a world where maybe post-Compendium or post-Set 20, we're looking at Fab 4.0. Where we're going, cool. We've done a little bit of throwing back, like we did some reprints of Fellings and Plows. We've reprinted E-Strike and CNC and again, and then from Set 20 onwards, maybe we're going to get like a
cards
year or so.
Were staples, still are staples, but are increasingly seeing less and less play.
You're seeing considerably fewer E-Strikes. You're seeing fewer CNCs. You will still see Tunic again. One of maybe the weaknesses of a set like Super Slam is that Tunic still feels obligatory.
Yeah.
In like 4, if not.
Which, to be fair, they've now reprinted 4 times.
Yep, and there's enough Tunics to go around, but it would be nice to not have to say to a new player, you're going to need a Tunic.
Yeah.
Because again, that's one of the counter arguments for Fab, and it has been, and it's worse now than it has been for a while, but there is still a degree of buy-in if you want to play one of these top tier decks in Fab that isn't Dio.
This is true of any card game if you want to play a top tier deck.
That's the counter argument.
Even except Pokemon.
Exactly.
But a Pokemon top tier deck lasts about a month to 3 months.
Yeah, until the next set, and also you've got to pay £80 for a ticket. So to play it at UIC.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's if you win the lottery game.
The competitive games. And then you had Cyberpunk TCG. Don't know if you followed that.
I didn't.
So the largest TCG on Kickstarter ever by a significant margin, but also it turned out the 3rd largest ever Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. Which is normally a sign of success.
One would assume.
Except that we're in the middle of a TCG bubble. There's a bit of an assumption that people have bought it for holding and scalping. And they've got no way yet of getting a local scene going.
That's the hardest part.
Which is the hardest part, is to convince people to play locally, which is why we're so fortunate in Canterbury that we have a good local scene that fires every time, and not just fires.
Well, I think it's mainly...
we have 16, 17 on Friday? Saturday even?
Yeah, and then we got 8 on the Monday.
Yeah.
Even though that was a cut amount because we had a 5th pre-release for Magic.
Yeah, no, I mean Mondays are always weird because in the off season the Monday really dies, and then in the on season Monday's a 20-person tournament.
Because everyone wants to practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still get a very good local scene. But again, a lot of that it does come from the game itself. It does help that LSS have made a lot of efforts throughout the game's history to support local play, playing in the flesh and blood, all that kind of stuff. You do also need people locally to sort of like push it. Like it helps having members of staff who push it.
I know down in Folkestone they just can't get it started, and that's probably because Canterbury draws at bigger radius
to a degree.
of people.
I think there is that too. I mean that's the same for any game, right? You will get clashes, you will get people who can't make certain days. again, as a game gets bigger, in theory, it starts filling those gaps a little bit. We're still very early on in Fab's sort of like history as well.
True.
Like we're like 6 years in. Is still babby game really, if you think about it in comparison to the other games on the market. Look at the big contenders in Magic and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh yeah, I did forget about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
good.
many do. Many do. The thing for Yu-Gi-Oh is that you can talk about all you want from a Western point of view. In Japan, it's still just huge.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of these games, especially like Pokemon and stuff as well, what they do in the West and what they do over here is fine. And for Pokemon, it makes a lot of money. But it is fundamentally, you know, their home is secure.
Yeah.
Back in Japan, whereas a game like LSS, that despite being New Zealand, one would consider the West. Tune in next week for a full podcast on geopolitics. Is appealing to these Western American, European markets, and sort of making their base there. And that's why we get these elaborate, you know, callings and stuff in the fantastical fancy cities such as Wakefield.
Yes.
Because they're making these appeals to us.
All in Wakefield.
Yeah. Well, that again, we can go right into what we're looking forward to, John, because we've got a bunch of stuff coming up too.
We do, but I've got to go in a minute.
So we'll have to hear about it next week.
I had a question, yeah. Which was, I'm struggling to get off of Syndra, because Syndra's amazing. She's consistent, she's fun, she does all the right things.
And she finished 9th at the Pro Tour.
Finished 9th at the Pro Tour. I won the army on her last weekend. I'm like, yeah, Syndra's in a great spot. But I need to expand my flesh and blood playing. What should I play? I don't know what to put together. I just don't know.
Well, there's fundamentally an argument of like, one, do you have to?
And this is it. I don't have to.
We had this argument. We did this before. We were like, oh, Syndra's not feeling very good right now.
I should just main Syndra and continue maining Syndra, and I could just stay locked down on Syndra.
But we are human. We do get bored. And Syndra, despite having obviously very diverse and unique play patterns turn to turn, some people get bored of her, John. Don't know how.
Not me.
Not me. 0-4 go again. It's pretty good.
How do you get bored? How do you get bored of that?
I guess the biggest the thing is, Tom is having the same issue right now. Tom playing exclusively Syndra. He's recently sort of gone into Ira.
Yep.
He's played a bit of Fire as well. Didn't like Fire very much. High skill ceiling, what can I say? But those are your obvious ones, right? You go, cool, well, you like Draconic Ninja. You try and go Draconic Ninja in that direction. You try and go Ninja that direction.
And I've got Katsu. And you know,
I would recommend a deck like Katsu because he's cool as hell. Or you flip it on the barrel and you go the opposite other way entirely and you play something like Fatigue Pleiades, or you play...
Yeah, I played some Jarl. I've got Lyeth. Lyeth is still an aggro deck, but
Lyeth is his own special beast.
Yeah, Lyeth is his own special beast.
Or you bite the bullet and you wait for the new set and you buy into the new heroes.
Yeah.
You and I imagine at least 8 other players can all fight over the Aurora scraps for Omens.
I'm skipping Aurora, no Runeblade, but I've got everything you can get so far for Ziggy, and I've got everything you can get so far for Basilia.
Mm-hmm. So it could be that those are, again...
So maybe I hang on Syndra and just pick up a new hero.
There's always an inherent risk that you're buying into a new hero, that this could be the good hero in the set, or this could be the ones that require help over time. I don't think that means they're necessarily bad. I mean, you look at, for example, a set like Super Slam, and all 4 heroes do now have Living Legend points, so the potential is there, and they're only going to get stronger. I guess the hardest thing is to recommend a hero that is both accessible, fun, strong, and also not going to hit Living Legend in like...
I should play Eugene Reinar.
I mean, I will always be an advocate for Reinar. Eugene did do a little video with LSS where he went over his deck and his decisions and all that kind of stuff. And for the most part, I agreed. Unfortunately, my fundamental weakness with Reinar is that because I'm not Eugene, I will not roll a 6 when it's the best thing to do.
This is it. You see, I'm quite lucky with dice rolls.
I'm not, John.
And so maybe Reinhar's my hero, and I just roll some dice.
So there's a world where, the Savage Lands is always fun. Like right now, actually, if you buy the Brute equipment suite, you are getting access to 3 very different heroes.
Yeah, true.
And if you side along into shadow stuff, you also get Levia.
Yeah.
If you really like punishment.
But yeah, no, you're right. Buy the equipment, and I'm probably very cheap then to put together KO and
I can only imagine
Tough Nut.
that Brute equipment is in freefall right now. Well, maybe Eugene has sort of
don't know. I should take a look.
done it
I
a
should
bit
take
of
a
a
look,
favour, but
and I should go.
yes,
But we'll do this again next week.
I think so.
Sounds
I'll be
good.
here.
Yep. Awesome. Right.
Hopefully it was recording.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Energy Potion, a Flesh and Blood podcast. If you liked it, please consider subscribing for more. If you disagree with any of these opinions, please let us know in the comments and we'll either defend them robustly or completely cave and agree with you. This podcast was made possible with help from the team at Le Bon 22 Productions and a special donation from the Cracked Bauble Appreciation Society and their sponsors.